All right. Well, hello everybody. So I'm gonna take you through a little bit on 4-2 here with the solution. This one is a little bit challenging because you'll find this from time to time. It's an always issue, and we get functions that are deprecated in a PHP. The eregi function is deprecated now, and it just happened this year where or if you have an updated PHP. Excuse me, it did not happen this year. It only happens when you have like a new updated PHP. So I've got kind of the most recent updates on everything, and I ran into that problem with this 4-2. So let me take you through kind of what I did to solve the problem with Debug, and then we'll kind of view what's going on with this exercise. So I have the actual program here, and you know what? I want to zoom in on this thing for you, but I think I can just do a view or something. Okay, well, we'll do a search for that here in a second. Actually, why don't I just pop off real quick and get it zoomed in for you here soon. But we have this validate. This is what I call an all-in-one form. And what I did is I created a PHP project, and I had the project going to my www folder, so that when I hit play, it automatically pops up in the local host, the www folder, as index.php. And this is the all-in-one form that we're going to be working with. Essentially what its whole goal is to do is to validate the input from the form. And it does that only after it detects that you've submitted the form in the same PHP file. And so when the post is filled with data, then it goes and it validates the actual submissions. Now here's the problem. This one right here, when we do the email, when it actually tries to do or work with the email, this line right here, this mail line, line 94, this is going to fail. And the reason for that is because mail relays, that mail function is an old school function to use a mail relay. And essentially mail relays are a huge no-no. So they don't even allow it pretty much at all anymore. The last time I had to do it, I was able to do it. I had to build my own web server, and it's a nightmare. So the reason being that we don't want mail relays activated on our own mail server is because they'll get hijacked. And I actually was with one of my university cohorts was running a website, and they were using the mail relay, and the university started getting a lot of emails from everybody in the industry talking about how their mailing relay was hijacked, and they had to shut that down. So over the years it's just gotten so bad to where they just quit mailing relays. So just ignore that fact. That's okay. We could take that out and modify some things, but what I'm going to do is zoom in on this. I'm going to take you through the debug and show you kind of everything that's going on here, and then we'll take this line of code out here and get a good message so that we can feel good about it, other than oh, it's not working, yeah, that sort of thing. So let me hop off real quick, get some zoom in, and get it so you can actually see things. And then I'll be right back. Okay, that was just a quick Google search. It's the alt scroll wheel. So let's go ahead and look at what we got going on here for the solution. First thing that happens is when we run this in the debugger, I renamed this to index instead of the contact name, just to make it easier to play with in NetBeans. And then I added down here in the display form stuff that when you hit the action for submit, it reruns the index.php. So then it detects that there's something in the submission, the post data, and then it's going to do something with that data, such as validate everything. So I'm going to set actually a breakpoint here, and we're going to run this at the very beginning. I'm going to go up here, and it's going to start up xedebug, and I got this set up so that it always breaks out at the first line of code. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit continue here, and it's going to run and define everything, add the form, and then it's going to hit here, and then isset's going to come out as false. So when it hits here, I'm just going to continue again, because isset won't run, because this is the first time we're running this page. So continue. We get to here. Now the isset stuff goes. So I just hit continue again, and now we are at the second, the initial running of this web page. Let me actually bring that guy up. Where did you go? Oh, it's in Edge for some reason. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. So this is the initial run without the validation, and I'm going to go ahead and put some stuff in here, and then I'm going to hit send form again, and the form is going to reenact that index, and then it's going to stop at that first line. So I'm going to send form. There we go. And now I'm going to go all the way down, and I'm going to hit continue, and it's going to stop here at line 67. Okay, so this is the second time that we've, when we post the information from our initial run where this stuff went. Now we go in and we are looking at the data that we have sent in the form when we hit the submit button. And so this is going to come back as true. And then it's going to validate and make sure that somebody entered their name. So we can look at that. We can look at down here when we like examine this stuff. We can see that sender has what I typed in there. So that's working appropriately. Now we can also, I don't have watches enabled for this particular xedebug, but you could do things like, if you had watches enabled, you could select this guy just to look at it, do a copy, go over here to this plus, add that watch, and say OK. And if you had it enabled, it'll print out what it's supposed to be. So this is another really good debugging technique to use. I just haven't configured it yet because I got everything updated. But it's showing the locals just fine, and that's enough because you could just assign a variable, write the code, and instead of, say test is equal to post submit, and then look at test as a local variable, and it'll show it to you. So right now we're at the runtime validate email, and that's what takes us into the issue that we have, and that is with the deprecated ereg that is initially given to you. So that has to be updated with the preg match function, and here's the key: you got to put this / here at the beginning of your pattern, and you have to put the / here at the end of your pattern when you're using the preg match. Now here's industry standards, guys. When you are working with validations of emails, validations of passwords, what you do is you decide on what is a good regular expression, and how do you decide on that? Well, you go out and you see what other people are using. What are good regular expressions for checking to see if this is a valid password choice? You know, and then, you know, you would salt it and throw it into the database as a password, and, you know, hash it, salt it, and throw it into the database as the password of your user. So I've updated this particular code and posted it for you, so that you can get it working. But this is going to return true because the email address that I typed in is correct. And then we're going to go to message, and it's going to validate the message. But here's the thing is, you know, the message is going to come out fine. So we can look at message, and we see down here message. Yep, that's what I typed in. The email passes. Arrow count is 0. We are good to go. The next thing that's going to pop up is this right here. Right here. So that when everything passes, this is what runs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do a continue to get to that point. Okay, now we get to that point, and we are going to give some user the feedback on what they entered, and then this is where we get the problem. This is where our bug comes in. And what we can do is modify this code, and let's just go ahead and do a step over, and then when we go look at the output and hit continue, it's going to give us a little bit of an error, and it's going to say, hey, Mel is not usable. Well, that's fine. Let's just take it out. And you know what? If we are going to do that, let's just do this. Take out mail, assign a result to subject plus the message. You know what we can do is let's just throw in some you know, spaces. And you know what? I'm just kind of, I like my double quotes. Let's add them all together, concatenate them, and there we go. I think that is a possible winner. And then if the result is good, let's just go ahead and throw in the result. And let's just go ahead and say that this is result. All right, so now when we run this, what we're going to see is a little bit of a change of behavior. At least I'm hoping I'm not lying to you. We're going to find out. So let's go ahead, and you know what? I'm not even going to debug it. I'm just going to run it. I'm going to put the data in, and I'm going to say send form. Okay, there we go. Boom. Nailed it. Okay, so I would love to see a screenshot of this as your completion for the assignment, and I'll even throw this up, you know, on the Canvas page. So that you guys kind of have an idea of the direction you'll go for this one. And it's all because of that mail is totally deprecated. It's been deprecated for a while. And here's the thing is, you know, it kind of stinks that the book that I chose is older, but I seriously can't. I've been trying to find a good one. I think that I need to look again, but the last time I tried, I could not find a better one. You know, so it's getting time to look into it again. However, you know, all that new stuff, guess what? It just has the old stuff inside of it. That's all. And figuring this out, working with XE Debug, all the newer stuff, version 20 or whatever of NetBeans and WAMP really work well together. And the XE Debug is usually, you know, when I updated it, it didn't take me, you know, but a couple hours to get it moving. and working. There's a lot of stuff out there on how to fix it, but yeah, that's kind of the addendum for this assignment. Go ahead and complete yours and try to get it to something that I just showed you. All right, guys, thanks a lot.